we got ourselves UFC 302 this Saturday. We got ourselves in the main event. Islam Makhachev taking on Dustin the Diamond Poirier. I cannot wait for this fight. I really feel like this is going to be a great fight, guys. I know what a lot of people are saying. I know what some MMA outlets are saying. They're saying that Islam Makhachev is pretty much going to run over Dustin Poirier. He's pretty much going to take control of him, do whatever he wants with him. But hey, it's Dustin Poirier. This is a man that never says die. This is a man that never stays down. This is a man that always gets up and always is willing to throw down with the best of them, ready to stand toe to toe with the best of them. I mean, the guy is a Hall of Famer. He is a legend, and you cannot sleep on Dustin Diamond Poirier. This is gonna be one hell of a fight, guys. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You know, Islam Makhachev is pretty much still, I want to say, young in the division, in a very stacked division. You know, there's been a lot of, how would you say, a lot of talk regarding resumes and how Islam Makhachev's resume is not as shiny and is not as popular as Dustin Poirier's, which all respect. It's true, but at the end of the day, it's because Islam Makhachev is much younger than Dustin Poirier, and Dustin Poirier has been doing it for a lot more longer, which is, in a sense, not very good on Dustin Poirier's side, because that means Dustin Poirier has a lot more wear and tear than Islam Makhachev does. But hey, it is what it is, guys. Let's break this fight down, shall we? We already know regarding the pound for pound who is the number one right now, and that's Islam Makhachev. I mean, you can't deny him, especially after that knockout that he gave to end his rivalry with Volkanovski back in October, I believe it was. I mean, the guy's great all around. He is basically the protege of Khabib Nurmagomedov, but I feel like he's a little bit better because, you know, we all know Khabib was pretty much the type of person that would just take you to the ground and pound you or submit you, where Islam Makhachev can stand up with you, can head kick you, can pretty much throw some really good shots on his feet, and utilize some of his great wrestling, and of course utilize some of his great submissions. So he's really good all around. But he's going against somebody who's also really good all around as well. He's going against somebody that is not afraid to stand up and bang. And he's also going up against somebody that is not afraid to go on the ground and attempt some submission attempts or utilize some wrestling as well. And that's Dustin Poirier. You know, that's why I feel like this fight is going to be a little bit better than what is leading on to be. Yes, I know people are going to say, well, MMA math shows, look what Islam Makhachev did to Charles Oliveira, and look what Charles Oliveira did to Dustin Poirier. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't always pan out. You know, it doesn't always work out to that type of advantage. You know, sometimes matchups, styles make matchups. And sometimes you can have Dustin Poirier knocking out Islam Makhachev, or Charles Oliveira doing what he did to Dustin and then losing to Islam. It doesn't add up always. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So at the end of the day, who we feel is better on the stand-up going into this fight, I feel hands down Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier has the best hands in all of MMA right now, I feel. You know, he's went toe-to-toe with some of the greatest guys in the MMA world regarding the lightweight division. You know, like guys like Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, Eddie Alvarez. I mean, he went against the who's who. And he's won against all of them. He's been in trouble before. He survived before. He struggled a lot before. But at the end of the day, he's been able to survive. And he has some great stand-up. Great boxing abilities. Not sleeping on Islam's. Islam's great boxing ability is really, really great. But that's only because he has great wrestling and great submission game, which leads into my next conversation on who has the best ground game. I would have to give that to Islam. Islam Makhachev is coming from Khabib Nurmagomedov's camp, where pretty much that's their bread and butter. You know, that's where they utilize, that's their specialty regarding their fighting style. You know, that's pretty much what they were raised to do, is wrestle. You know, that's all they've ever really done. But of course, Islam's been able to utilize some of his striking abilities as well. But I feel like if this goes to the ground, even though Dustin Poirier is not afraid to go to the ground, I feel like that's just going to be Islam Makhachev's being able to do whatever he wants with them, however he wants to him. His submission game is really, really good. I'm talking about Dustin Poirier, but I feel like Islam Makhachev's submission game is just that much more better. You know, unfortunately, you know, when it comes to submissions, that's how Dustin Poirier lost both his title attempts to Charles Oliveira and Khabib Nurmagomedov. He got tapped out. So, I mean, Again, Dustin Poirier is not afraid to go to the ground, but I recommend he definitely doesn't. He needs to keep it on the outside. He cannot be afraid to get taken down though, because he's been down on the ground before. He cannot be afraid. If he shows any kind of fear in there and pretty much allows Islam Makhachev to dictate the octagon, dictate the cage, dictate the pace, then he's pretty much going to have a long night. But if he could go in there and show him that he is not afraid, that he has nothing to lose, that he's, this is his last chance, but still, at the end of the day, he's done what he needed to do. He is a Hall of Famer. He is a living legend. So he's going to go in there and do the best that he can and have fun with it. And if he could do that, I believe he can give Islam some problems. I believe he can utilize some of that calf kicks, utilize some of his great boxing ability, and show Islam that he's not afraid. And that can really give Islam some trouble and make him guess a little bit like, hey, what do I need to do to put this guy away? Because not very many people can actually put Dustin Poirier away. So at the end of the day, who's going to win this fight? I really would love Dustin Poirier to win. It would be such a story. It would be such a great way to cement his legacy. A great way to pretty much book him 100% into the Hall of Fame, even though I already feel like he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, I just feel like that Islam Makhachev is just a little bit too advanced right now. I think his ground game is really, really great. His wrestling is really, really great. His submission game is really, really great. His stand-up is actually even getting even better. So I do feel like Islam Makhachev is going to win this. I want to say by 3rd round submission. That's my personal opinion. But hey, again, I would 100% not be mad if Dustin Poirier wins. 100% not be mad. Also on the card, you have the co-main event. I believe it's a 5-round fight. You have the former middleweight champion of the world, Sean Strickland, taking on one of the baddest dudes in the middleweight division, Paulo Costa. I mean, this has Fight of the Night written all over it. This has Action Pack written all over it. You got 2 guys who are very, very game to stand up, who have been in some really good fights, really good fight nights, have been able to knock people out with their hands and such. I mean, I really feel like this is going to steal the entire show at 302. Sean Strickland, his boxing is so crisp. His distance is so good. He is just so good regarding his all-around MMA skills. We were able to see these skills, and we were able to see him give a lot of these other fighters, and including one of the greatest middleweights of all time, Israel Adesanya, a lot of trouble because he is just so good at everything. He has great takedown defense. He has really good leg kicks. His boxing is just weirdly good or even great for the division or for MMA in general. He has the Philly shell that Floyd Mayweather really made famous, that James Toney really made famous, that just, if you look at it, it really isn't supposed to work in MMA. It just seems like you have so much left open, but Sean Strickland has been able to make it work. And it's just incredible. It really, really, truly is. Coming from somebody where he was just flatlined by Alex Pereira not that long ago, a couple years ago, and now becoming the middleweight champion of the world and having an unfortunate loss like he did with DDP. But still, he is a big superstar now in the middleweight division. And this fight really could put him back in line to fighting for another championship, which I do feel like he has earned it. I feel like that championship belt bout that he had with DDP, it could have really gone either way. It really, really could have, but at the end of the day, DDP got the victory. And I would not mind seeing a rematch. And he could actually get a rematch if he does do a really great job against Paulo Costa. Now, Paulo Costa, on the other hand, has been, a little bit of up and down regarding his career. He's had some really good fights, and then he's had some really not so good fights. He's had moments where he just looked incredible, that he looked unbeatable in the division, and then there's moments where he just looked like he did not care. Well, according to his manager, he does care now. According to the manager, he's all focused now. He's all in now, which is something we like to hear. His last title attempt was against Israel Adesanya, I want to say back in 2020, quite possibly, or 2021. It's been quite some time. And Paulo Costa has only fought 5 times, and he's only literally fought once a year. That's not very active, especially for his age and especially in the middleweight division. You definitely want to be a little bit more active. But again, he's winning there against some of the greatest to ever do it. He's winning there toe-to-toe with guys like Yoel Romero, Luke Rockhold, Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya. He's winning there with a lot of great champions and great veterans and such. So this is going to be a very fun fight, guys. Now, who's going to win? This is a pick'em in a way because, well, not necessarily a pick'em, because I feel like Sean Strickland just is all around better than Paulo Costa. But again, I believe Paulo Costa just has that power and has the ability to withstand punishment like he was able to do against guys like Marvin Vettori, Yoel Romero, maybe even Luke Rockhold. Because even though some of these guys were a little bit past their prime, like a little bit older, like Yoel Romero and Luke Rockhold being past his prime, Yoel Romero being much more older. Marvin Vettori was a great fight. Robert Whitaker, he had Robert Whitaker in trouble. He showed a lot of heart and skill in that fight. So you really can't sleep on Paulo Costa. I know a lot of people are picking Sean Strickland, but I feel like Paulo Costa has a lot to give in this fight. And especially, it really depends. Because rumor has it that this is 5 rounds. If it's 5 rounds, I do feel like it's going to be a long night for Paulo Costa. But if it's 3 rounds, I feel like Paulo Costa has the edge to actually get that victory. Because he really likes to come out quick. He likes to come out fast. He likes to pretty much unleash the beast and pretty much unleash all kinds of weapons in the first couple of rounds. And then take off maybe the 3rd round because he's just so burned out and tired. He does carry a lot of muscle mass. Where Sean Strickland, on the other hand, is very more strategic. He doesn't necessarily like to blow his wad too fast. He likes to take his time. He likes to pretty much pick his shots and not overwhelm his opponent too much. He likes to keep him guessing. So again, I personally feel like it's a pick 'em fight. But if I had to pick a victor, I would have to give it to Sean Strickland. There's so much more to break down on this fight card, guys. I cannot wait to even talk about it more. But right now, I'm gonna let you decide what fight night is going to be, or what fight is going to be better. Was it going to be Islam and Dustin Poirier, or is it going to be Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa? There's a lot more great fights on this card, guys. Definitely do not miss it. It's this Saturday, UFC 302. Cannot wait to see it. I'm sure you guys cannot either. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.